welcome to Wayzata High School for Lake Conference Wrestling. Tonight a dual meet as the Minnetonka Skippers pay a visit here to the Wayzata Trojans. Hi again, I'm Jay Wilcox along with television's John Lauritsen, and these teams were at the same tournament last weekend, John, and ended up exactly tied in points. That kind of gives you an indication this should be a relatively even duel.
Yeah, I was looking at kind of the program here. You have 7 seniors on Minnetonka's team, and you think, well, maybe that translates to a little more experience, maybe a little bit of an advantage. But then again, maybe not. I think Wayzata only has 4 seniors in their starting lineup. But as you mentioned, a close finish last week in a tournament, now a dual meet. So we'll see how this carries over to this week and tonight.
Skippers have a couple of ranked wrestlers. Wayzata has one. It doesn't look like any of those guys will be matching up here this evening, most likely. So there will be some spots, though, where there are going to be some key matches, some key, the coin flip at the beginning is definitely a factor in this one as far as getting the lineup the way you want it.
Yeah, we talked with one of the Wayzata coaches who talked about juggling their lineup already a little bit. So the coin flip will be key. Also, even the ranked wrestlers, sometimes you already know how that match is going to end. It's the other matches, as you mentioned, where you maybe have one kid who has just a little bit more experience than another. Maybe there's just a tiny little bit of a technique or something that he does a little bit better than the other kid that can decide not only that match, but the dual meet in some cases.
Wayzata off to a 3-1 start. The one loss was to a pretty good team, St. Michael Albertville.
A lot of people lose to that.
Yes, that's a team that's in their section now. Sections have been realigned. These two are not in the same section anymore. Both of them expect to have a chance to do well. I don't think Wayzata or anybody else really has a realistic shot of beating St. Michael in their section. But to be in the mix, to get to those semis and finals, same thing for Minnetonka in Section 6.
Wayzata, yeah, they're talking about second place, but no shame in losing to St. Michael Albertville. I think Buffalo will give them a challenge, and some other schools as well. Minnetonka, obviously, they're holding their own here in some of these tournaments and stuff. So very early in the season, and you got a lot of time to see how this all shakes out. I think we're 3 weeks into the season. But, yeah, I mean, a match like tonight can be kind of a platform for one of these teams who's got to vault ahead maybe a little bit as the season goes on.
All right, they're wrapping up JV. We'll get our varsity started in a moment here on 12 Sports High School Wrestling Action.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think.
Billy! Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
It's so shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
And welcome back here to Wayzata as the varsity lineups just being introduced to the crowd here. It was also youth night, so on the adjacent mat, lots of little guys going head to head too in the Minnetonka and Wayzata wrestling programs here, and obviously it's a ways off, but Dave Drugemiller, the assistant for Wayzata, was telling us that they got some really good kids down in the second, third grade level. He said, you know, kind of those are a group that you sort of circle and wait until they get up to varsity. Obviously a lot can happen between now and then, but they're pretty pumped up about what they have in the youth.
Yeah, he was very excited talking about that, and you're looking at, as you said, Jay, probably a few years yet before some of those guys contribute, but I was watching a couple of matches, and there are some pretty talented young wrestlers there in the Wayzata program, and that's how you obviously become a competitive varsity program, is building that feeder program and watching those kids come up and get their technique right when they're young and take their lumps early on, but some of these guys already look like they have a pretty good grasp of how to compete at the varsity level when it gets to be that time.
Yeah, there's a look at some of the youth guys going at it. Well, these teams have had somewhat similar schedules already. They both they've been on two same tournaments already. They were each at the Osseo tournament back at the end of November, and then of course both at the Chaska Chanhassen tournament last weekend. The difference is that Minnetonka's other competition was also a tournament over at Maple Grove, and they've been in the top three in all their tournaments so far. So they have definitely wrestled pretty well. And then for Wayzata, they've had a couple of tri-meets, so they've gotten in of 4 duels already, as we said. The loss to St. Michael, and then victories over Armstrong and Richfield and also Rogers High School. So these teams know each other pretty well. Again, maybe doesn't have quite the same importance as it has for the past several years, just because it's not a section opponent anymore. So by team-wise and by individual-wise, these ones aren't quite as big a deal. There's a look on the right there. Eric Swenson, the Wayzata head coach in his second season as head coach with the Trojans, 18th year as a high school coach. A little bit of issue with injury or whatnot for a couple guys going to be out of the lineup.
Well, and that's how teams kind of get around this, is they have to have obviously a good JV that they can call up other wrestlers to kind of fill in those open spots. I know we were talking with some of the Wayzata coaches earlier. They got an issue at about 160 there, where they're going to have to bring somebody up, maybe make some changes. They'll be surprised if Minnetonka obviously jostle some guys around. That's all part of how you try and win a dual meet here in the middle of December.
Yeah, they have had obviously been going head-to-head at least once and usually more over the past couple of years, so they definitely have some idea about who's who and where things are going to go. One big change is Boyd Mamboa for Minnetonka, their 120-pounder. Well, he was Wayzata's star in the lighter weights last year. And their family moved, so shortly before school, he became a Minnetonka skipper after being a Wayzata Trojans. Kind of like an off-season trade in wrestling,
wasn't it? Or free agent pickup. Lost for Wayzata, definitely, but definitely a pickup there for Minnetonka. He's only 10th grade, so if he stays in the Minnetonka high school district and stays with that varsity team, they could be 3 years the skippers will have him in their lineup.
So it will be Cale Swenson receiving a forfeit for Wayzata at 106. They will not put a wrestler out against Cale, who's had a good start, a couple of fourth-place finishes, the son of the coach Swenson.
And for the Trojans, he is the 8th grader, Royce Hogue.
It'll be Royce Hogue for Wayzata at 113 now, facing Jake Finken of Minnetonka. So our 113-pound match will be our first one actually on the mat, as Wayzata wins a forfeit in the first one at 106. Royce Hogue, an 8th grader, and we're going to get an early 2 on the takedown for Finken.
And you can see Wayzata coach is yelling for Hogue to get to your belly. He was trying to hang on there. We have a clasping call, looks like. Hogue will get a point for clasping. What happened was, looked like Finken with the takedown double leg. Once Hogue got to his belly, Finken did not let go of his clasp. He had his hands together. And once the wrestler goes to his belly or is in kind of the down position after the takedown, you got to release that clasp and work your way up.
Coach Fry getting the explanation, not necessarily agreeing, but too early in the match to get real heated up about it, so he's just kind of slowly walking away.
And maybe a learning moment there for Jake Finken, the 9th grader. Still leading 2-1 then, even by giving up that point. Hogue trying to kind of get his hips out there for a minute. Finken maintaining control.
He's got that left wrist really controlling it too.
Maintaining hand control really well is Finken. Got Hogue broken down. Throws on a half here. He's got some momentum with it. Hogue trying to fight that off. Finken keeps going for it. He's got the half, trying to work for a near cradle. He's got some back points here at least.
Not a real great grip on the head, but he's still in pretty good position.
You can see that right shoulder of Hogue. He's trying to just keep his right shoulder off. You can see the way he's bridging. Finken kind of parallel with him here, trying to press that right shoulder down. 40 seconds for Hogue to fight this off. He's trying to get to the edge of the mat there.
Swim our way is what pretty much the Wayzata bench is saying.
Get off that mat if you can. Finken trying to keep him on. He's still got him on his back. If he can switch over and push him back on the mat, he's got that in mind, you can see.
He's had him in trouble for a long time, but he never had a really airtight grip there, I don't think.
He didn't quite. And credit to Royce Hogue for fighting that off. He was really in a dangerous position there for close to a minute.
Yeah, right now if you're Hogue, you're the first period you got dominated, but you're actually glad that the match is still going because it looked like for a moment that maybe Finken would put him away. Hogue's going to choose both up for period number 2 here to see if he can't get back in this one a little bit, trailing at 5-1 in our 113-pound match.
They gave up that double leg takedown to Hinken in about the first 10 seconds, so interesting decision to pick both up here. He gives up another takedown now, down 7-1. Hogue's only point, a clasping call against Finken. Finken working from the legs to the upper body. Again, trying to get hand control here on Hogue. Comfortably ahead in this one, 7-1. He's going to try a little tilt here, it looks like, if he can lock it up. And he's going to bring it back the other way. He's got it locked up. He can go 2 ways with that. Come back on. I'm not sure he's on the mat, though, enough to get back points. It's a nifty little move if he can make it work. You see the ref says no back points there. He didn't have him on his back for very long, and plus they're kind of off the mat.
Yeah, I think his indication was that they were off too. So, but Finken realizing it and now dragging him back to the middle, and he's still continue to control that left arm.
That's a smart move by Finken. Instead of trying to get a restart, he just kind of maintains control. You can see he had that wrist for a long time.
I think a lot of times guys at the edge, when they're in a pretty good position, they settle for letting it go out, and I agree. He didn't need to there.
And he's working the clock, too. 30 seconds to go here in the second. 7-1. So things being what they are, he's up by 6 points. He would need 2 more to get a major decision, which would give his team an extra team point. Hogue called for warrant for stalling here. There's another. He's thinking going back to the half, at least thinking about it for a second. Still trying to work that.
Short time.
Going to run out of time here in the period anyhow as we'll tick down towards 0. And stay at 7-1, and it will be Finken's choice.
And an interesting choice because he's taken down Hogue twice.
He is going to choose down.
He's not been down yet, so coach is saying up and out. They want to see an escape, then a takedown if they can. Get that extra point with an escape as opposed to reversal if he can take him down too. Standing up to his feet, trying to do exactly what they want. This will be a reversal, not a takedown. Nonetheless, though, that's a major decision if the match would end right now. 9-1, Finken leads. Going to let him go. 9-2. As a shot does Finken. Hogue trying to kind of tie up with them. Hogue probably thinking about doing some kind of throw. He's so far behind, 9-2. Minute 20 to go in the third. Hogue takes a shot. Head to the outside, though, and a single is never good. He's thinking, trying to cross-face him and come around here. He's got him flattened out. That'll be 2. 11-2 now. Jake Finken of Minnetonka in control of this match. Just over a minute to go.
The way he was able to turn him in that first period, I still think that Jake's really thinking I can pin this guy. Not that it's going to be easy, but the way he's been wrestling, I think he feels that still.
He came close in the first period, and I think you're right. He's got 45 seconds here. Not enough time to take him down and let him go. It's not going to work out to try and get a tech fall that way. So he's going to have to try and maybe work for the pin at this point. Leading 11-2, he's got 30 seconds to go here. Minnetonka trying to get some of those team points back that they lost as a result of a forfeit at 106. There's a crossface. That was a pretty hard crossface, too.
Oh, I guess. I think he's a little frustrated that Hogue's been kind of hanging on a little bit down there.
Hogue has a stalling warning, and he has kind of just been hanging on, trying not to get put on his back a little bit.
And that's how we're going to end at 11-2 major for Finken of Minnetonka.
Major decision for the skippers, Jake Finken.
So the Skippers get on the board now, trailing 6-4 after a couple of matches.
Finken kind of gets a single leg, switches it up here. You see that clasp he had. He got called on a clasping call. Once Hogue kind of got to his belly, he did not let go of that clasp. So.
And Boyd Mambua, who is new to Tonka this year, is going to win by forfeit. Wayzata will not send out an opponent.
Minnetonka 10, Wayzata 6.
And so Minnetonka now goes ahead 10-6, and we move up to 126. Here's where we get to the strategy part of things. I think Wayzata kind of knowing they probably going to be more advantageous to line things up this way instead of possibly losing to Boyd Mambua.
For the skippers, Henry Bixler, the sophomore, and Wayzata Mitchell Hogue.
Henry Bixler will wrestle for Minnetonka, and Mitchell Hogue for Wayzata.
It looks like Hogue moving up here, weight class. Bixler looks like kind of dropping down one, must have weighed in at 126.
Hogue, a real hard trainer for the Trojans. And Coach Drogemailer was telling us that, you know, this is probably the better spot for him weight-wise, but they've needed him to drop to 20 a lot of times. But so Wayzata kind of rolling the dice here, seeing if they can't get a victory here at 26.
Bixler, the senior for Tonka, he's got a wizard on here on Hogue. Hogue, the sophomore. Gets out of it, switches to a single. He's got a takedown. 2-0 Mitchell Hogue. Minute to go here in the first. Bixler trying to peel those hands, get out. Hogue hanging on to that single. Keeps him down on the mat. A little disappointed, Jay, we didn't get to see Boyd Mambua wrestle, since he was almost like a free agency signing for Minnetonka in a way, if there is such a thing in wrestling. It would have been fun to see him wrestle against his old team and ranked 10th in the state. Always fun to watch wrestle like that. There's a tilt by Hogue, a very, very nice looking tilt. Should get a couple back points on this. He is going to get 2. 4-0 now. Mitchell Hogue leads.
Well, and you can see, I mean, you're trying to win the duel. Same situation at 106. Minnetonka, you know, giving up 6 rather than throwing somebody out there to get worked over by Swenson, I guess. And then Wayzata feeling at 20 that was going to be their best, was to bump Mitchell Hogue up to here to 26 and not send somebody out against Mambua.
Yeah, a lot of strategy. We expected to see strategy in the steel meet, just maybe not so early on, but it is what it is. 10-6 now is the team score as a result. 4-0 in this match at 126. Mitchell Hogue leading Henry Bixler of Minnetonka. Looks like Hogue is going to take down to start the second. Gets his hips out right away. Bixler not able to stay with him. An escape for Hogue, now 5-0.
Made that look relatively easy here. He's confident right now.
Anytime you can get an escape in the first 10 seconds, that's a good thing. You don't have to work for it too hard.
And he just kind of did it smoothly, too. It wasn't like he all of a sudden, dashed out of there or anything. He just kind of got into a good position, good stance, and got up.
Very fluid, yes. Getting that escape, now trying to work for a takedown, and he got one early in the first period on Bixler. So it's kind of tied up here in the middle of the mat. Quick activity to start the second period, now just kind of jostling for position here. Hogan on a single. Bixler trying to, looks like throwing a little wizard there to counter that. Hogue gets his arm out. He might have, nope, not able to do it. Good defense by Bixler.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be 2 when it started.
There's another single, another wizard, but this time Hogue fights it off and gets a takedown. Now a commanding lead in this match.
About a half minute to go in the period as he looks to try and get a turn late.
Up by 7, 8 points. Winning by 8 again gives Wayzata a major decision and 14 points. That would tie the dual meet. Hogue trying to break Wixler down here if he can. Bixler maintaining his base. Hard to call that a flurry of activity in the second period, but Hogue extends his lead from 4-0 to 7-0 with an escape and takedown. Bixler will choose down to start the third.
And Hogue is going to let him up here, so make it a 7-1 score.
Seems like that was a rule they installed a few years ago where if you just, instead of going through the whole rigmarole of pushing a guy away and giving him an escape, they can just start on their feet if you just want to let him go and give up a point. Bixler had a headlock on there for a second. Hogue around him. If he takes him to the mat, that'll be another takedown. Bixler trying to get his hips out, peel those hands. Looks like that should be 2 for Hogue. No, ref's going to say they're off the mat. Very close to getting a takedown there was Mitchell Hogue. It seemed like he didn't quite keep his other foot in bounds. Kind of like a receiver in a football game. You got to have 2 feet in bounds when you get a takedown. Behind him again, he's got to take him to the mat to get 2. That time he does, 9-1, and that's a major decision if the match would end right now. But we still have 1:20 to go.
Be interesting to see if he will continue to try and turn him here, or if they would think about cutting him and going for more.
That's a strategy I'm sure the coaches have considered, but you have a minute to go. The strategy of letting him go, taking him down, there's just probably not enough time to get a tech fall that way unless you're hoping to catch him on his back. Bixler doing a good job of maintaining his base even if he's not getting away right now.
Yeah, he pretty strong legs, and I think that's helped him in this match to be able to keep from being flattened out and eventually turn to his back.
It definitely has. Yeah, you've seen Mitchell Hogue has not struggled in this match, but if he's struggled in one category, it's trying to break Bixler down because he does have a strong lower body. There's another escape for Bixler.
Well, that
shot
changes
for Hogue.
things. That changes things as it makes it a 7-point lead instead of 8. So right now it'd still be just a decision. He needs a takedown.
Well, that's what makes wrestling exciting here. Bixler might lose this match, but if he can keep it down to just a decision as opposed to a major decision, that makes a difference, and that's what he does. So he saves a team point. Mitchell Hogue with the win. But Henry Bixler able to only lose by 7 instead of that magic 8 points, which saves a team point.
So you saw some celebrating actually on the Minnetonka bench because of it. As it changed late, he got that escape. and then fought off a takedown attempt.
Well, nice finish here by Hogue. He was, I don't want to say caught in a wizard, but Bixler threw a wizard on him, but Hogue did not panic. He just kind of kept following through, got the single leg takedown right there.
Go to 132. It'll be Logan Renninger for Minnetonka, Tim Gilseth for Wayzata. I think this is one where Minnetonka may be feeling like they've got a pretty decent shot, although Gilseth definitely has some experience too as a junior, and he's in and on single.
The Wayzata wrestlers tonight, even Mitchell Hogue in the match before, able to finish really well on that single leg. No different here for Gilseth. Takedown 2-0, leading 40 seconds into this match. And off they go. Renninger looks like he might have, nope, he's all right. Thought he might have a bloody nose for a second. Renninger up, trying to get away. Gilseth breaks him down with his legs. And a crossface, trying to maintain hand control. Gilseth going for that crossface. Renninger trying to stand up. Gilseth still in control. You're still got that leg. Renninger kind of hooks his leg. Gilseth trying to break him down, finally does.
Pretty good series of counters for both guys.
Yeah,
there.
it really was.
Ended up back where we were.
Seems like they spent a good part of this first period right on the edge of the mat. They'll go off here. 2-0. Tim Gilseth of Wayzata leading Logan Renninger of Minnetonka. Oh, a little roll out there by Renninger, not able to get away though. Gilseth maintaining control. They're trying to kind of get his leg out and get away. Gilseth desperately trying to hang on to Renninger. He's kicking and trying to do whatever he can to get out. 5 seconds to go here. And the first period will come to an end. 2-0. Tim Gilseth of Wayzata with the lead.
Solid first period for Gilseth. I have the feeling that both benches kind of feel like this is one we can get, and we're seeing a close one so far.
You're right, Jay. Renninger starting down here to start the second period, gets up, tries to get out. We've seen this position a lot already this match, where the wrestlers kind of end up in this position. Gilseth hanging on the leg and Renninger doing everything he can to bounce away. Once again, these guys are right on the edge of the mat. Gilseth able to break him down once again. You can see Renninger really trying to. A little surprised that the referee hasn't called a stalemate on Gilseth. And it's not that he's stalling, but anytime you're just hanging on the legs and trying to maintain control without working up, some referees will call a caution on that for stalling. Renninger once again trying to roll out. Once again, Gilseth stays with him.
I think for a lot of guys, it's an automatic that you take down, but as much trouble as he had getting out last period, I'm wondering right now if Renninger's kind of regretting that, because he has again struggled to get out here in the second period.
And he's come close, and he works to his base really well, but he gets to this spot here, and Gilseth just breaks him back down. Seems to be getting a little bit tired down there, and that's you exert a lot of energy when you're trying to get up and out. There's a guy just hanging on to you.
And Gilseth hasn't had him controlled enough to be able to really work up and do much offensively. Now he finally will get that escape.
When he gets that escape, takes a shot. Gilseth sprawls. The shot from way far away. He's got a double leg here. Gilseth trying to fend him off. 25 seconds to go here in the second. Renninger really worked for that escape. He was trying for a long time. Dating back to the first period.
I think it led him to take kind of a quick shot just because he was so eager to finally get some offense.
I think you're right. I think that's exactly what happened. He spent so much time trying to get away from Tim Gilseth that once he was up, he shot right away. Trying to get those points back. There's a wizard throw. Oh, Renninger with a nice little throw. Let's see if he got any back points. He definitely got a takedown. We saw one count there, but I don't think he got any back points. Nonetheless, nice move there right at the end by Logan Renninger to get that lead that he hasn't seen all match. With just a second or two left in the second. Now he leads 3-2.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, it came so late as he was in position to get back points even if nothing further happened, but it just ran out of time.
A couple more seconds and that might have been very interesting for him.
Now it's his turn to work over Gilseth a little bit from the top.
He's got a half Nelson on there. Gilseth kind of the longer of the two wrestlers, using his leverage a little more. We saw him use it the first period and a half to kind of just ride out Renninger a lot, but Renninger trying to maintain control here. Gilseth trying to get his legs out.
And we'll get a stalemate call. No, we got blood time as Renninger is bleeding a little bit from the nose now.
Thought that might be the case in the first period too. He was checking out his nose pretty good. Now you can see the blood on him.
So a brief break in our 132-pound matches. Gilseth gets instructions from Coach Swenson and Drogemailer over there.
We're pretty animated here too. I think one thing they're obviously discussing here is you saw Gilseth, he was almost out. He's got to get his hips out there and keep moving. Get close to getting an escape.
Kind of have the feeling this one might turn out to be a one-point match one way or the other. They've been pretty evenly matched up in the early going here through the first two periods.
Yeah, minute 12 to go in the third, and now Gilseth down by a point. But all it takes is an escape now to tie the match. We could see overtime. We could see a takedown winning this thing. If you're Logan Renninger, it's a matter of trying to ride out Tim Gilseth once you get your blood time taken care of here for this last minute 12 if you can. That'll be interesting to see how he plays this. Does he feel confident on his feet? Does he want to give up an escape and try and get a takedown? I think he's going to try and ride him as long as he can. Gilseth up right away. Almost has an escape here, very close. And he's going to get it, I believe. Maybe you get a reversal. He's got it. That is two.
And Gilseth ready to go at the whistle here and gets two and takes the lead back.
Trying to work for half himself. Got Renninger broken down pretty good. 4-3 Gilseth.
And he again has had pretty good luck and more blood time as that cotton has come out of the nose of Renninger and started to flow again here.
That was a bad 30 seconds for Renninger since the time he had his last blood attempt. Gives up a reversal now. Finds himself down by one. A couple lead changes here in the third period. So this final 42 seconds will be very interesting to see now what Wayzata does with the lead.
And, you know, you never know, but the duel could come down to this match, you know, later on. So crucial points at stake here for both.
That's an interesting, that's definitely a good point, Jay, because you have all these matches where you see, you know, it's pretty evident who's going to win. But in this case, as you mentioned earlier on, both teams feel like they can get a win here. Renninger trying to get up and out right away, trying to peel those hands and see if he can get that escape back. He got it. Tie match, this is where it gets good now. 4-4, 34 seconds left. Renninger trying to get underneath. And Gilseth go off the mat.
It's kind of like OT already right here. We got a half minute to go, and probably the next takedown may very well win this.
That's a great point. And it seems like both wrestlers have kind of renewed energy now after that blood time too. He takes a swipe at the leg. Gelseth drops. Nothing happens. Back to the middle of the mat. 10 seconds left here.
10 seconds.
Almost feels like overtime. With wrestlers tied up, it's going to go to overtime. We got a big takedown coming up here if that's the way this ends. Got 1 minute overtime, I believe, yes. Takedown here will win the match. It's a sudden death. Wrestlers tied up. Go right to the edge. Double underhook here for Gelseth on Renninger. And off they go. We'll restart them. Well, maybe these wrestlers are kind of a microcosm for what the dual meet will end up being. I know both these teams, as you mentioned, last weekend tied in a tournament for points. Now in a dual meet. 10-9, Minnetonka leading. Gelseth close to get a takedown. Renninger still has that leg, though. You can see it right there. That's not a takedown yet. Gelseth trying to hook up a cradle. Oh, it breaks. That might... Gelseth still hanging on to that leg with dear life. If he can peel those hands, Renninger will get the win. 8 seconds. He did get it.
Renninger coming up with the 6-4 overtime win. A great match at 132.
Team score now, Minnetonka 13.
What a great match. I don't think we've seen one like that in a long time. Big win for Minnetonka there. Logan Renninger got taken down early in that match in the first period, got rode out for about the first period and a half, then got away and a couple lead changes. Then he gets a takedown in overtime to win it. Not many seconds left in overtime either.
Senior David Corey.
David Corey for Wayzata, Kyle Finken for Minnetonka here. Couple of seniors. Corey is 4-1 this year. He was third last weekend at the Chaska-Chan tournament. Got the age advantage on Finken, who's a freshman.
A lot of hand swatting here early on. Nobody taking a shot yet.
Both guys a little long and lean for 138.
A lot of hand and head movement here, but no shots taken yet. And 45 seconds into this. Almost seems like if one of these guys wanted to take a shot, the legs are kind of open right now. Corey thinks about it for a second.
Trying to set him up a little bit with the head and then be able to get in on those legs.
With a duck under attempt there. Finken tries a shot. Corey trying to underhook him and kind of overpower him if he can. He's got him in trouble. Corey close to getting a pin now. And there it is for Wayzata.
Minute 17 in, Corey gets the pin for the Trojans, and they'll take the lead in the match, 15-13. Big victory there for Corey.
In the first minute, not much going on. Then all of a sudden, Corey with the underhook, of a half Nelson type of thing here. It's Finken right on his back, right there. He's got that half on, really tight. And there's the pin. Big win for Wayzata.
Sam Fonder for Minnetonka, John Spolar for Wayzata in our 145-pound matchup. Sam's a senior and John a junior.
Oh, Fonder. Just that Spolar, there he's going to come around. It looks like he's close to two. Doesn't get it, not able to finish. Spolar could pull his arm and head out kind of the back here as a still. Man, that's a good call by the referee. Not much was going to happen.
Hey, let's go, Sam. Keep wrestling.
Fonder from Minnetonka, the senior. Spolar, junior. Fonder trying to reach Spollar's leg. Spolar trying to kind of throw on a near cradle here. Looks like he's got it locked up. He's got a takedown. Oh, he's trying to get it kind of tightened up here. He's got it locked up pretty tight. He can Fonder onto his back. He's going to have him in pretty big trouble. He does. That's close to being a pin. Thought he had it for a second. Wayzata coach just thought he had the pin. It looked like for a second that Fonder's shoulders were flat.
And it just happened to be where the official wasn't, able to see it from the spot he was in. I think Wayzata really felt like he briefly had him, but obviously if you don't see it, you don't call it.
Yeah, it's tough for the ref. He was kind of in a side position there, but it did look like that was close to being a pin. Spolar tries an arm bar, has an arm bar kind of locked up.
He realized he was up a little high there, and he'll readjust and try again here.
That arm bar probably a little more effective if he's able to break him down, which he's trying to do here. He tries a little tilt. He's going to get some back points. It's at least, that looks like he's got 3 there, so that'll make it 8-0 now for Spolar as the first period comes to an end.
I think it's 7-zip, right?
7-0. Have a flurry of activity there in the first period that we haven't seen that in a few matches.
Well, we'll see if Spolar, if that was a sign of things to come, or if Fonder's got an opportunity to be back in this one.
Well, Fonder throws on a headlock. Goes back and forth here. Spolar not able to roll through that. Fonder has got him in trouble. He can sit out a little bit. He might get a pin. Spolar really fighting to get out of that, able to do it.
3 near fall for Fonder, but now he's in trouble of losing his hold entirely and giving up a reversal. Fonder has to watch that his back isn't to the mat here.
Spolar trying to get out. We're gonna got a kind of a stalemate there. Both wrestlers locked up. An exciting match, though. It looked like it was gonna be one way, and then Sam Fonder throws on a headlock. It's a 5-point move, essentially. Now only down by 2. Spolar trying to get up and out. It turns in. Fonder retaining control. Could have had him in trouble there for a second.
Not what you want to do usually, turn into him like that.
Almost cost him for a second. Fonder's got him broken down here pretty well.
Yeah, both guys are really game, but also, seem to be prone to maybe giving up a big move too, so you're still not sure what's going to happen in this one.
And those are sometimes the funnest matches to watch.
30 seconds.
Early on, it looked like John Spolar of Wayzata was going to maybe get a pin and dominate this match, but sometimes that's the magic of wrestling, is it just takes a 5-point move or something like that to get you right back in it. And a pin can happen at any time. Fonder trying to lock up a cradle. Looks like he does. He's got about 15 seconds to pull it over here and get some back points.
And going to run out of time as he's not able to get Spolar to go. And so Spolar will still continue to hold a lead that was a dominant lead at one point at 7-0, and now 7-5, and both guys came close to being pinned already once.
Spolar will start down here to start the third. Fonder able to break him down right off the bat. Spolar trying to work to his base. Fonder trying to hook up that cradle. Now, he had that hooked up at the end of the second, but wasn't able to turn him. He's got it locked up again. Now he's going to try and bring him back. Spolar not in a very enviable position, but if he can break those hands, Fonder's a little bit high right now. Got the legs on here.
No change in advantage here, although it looked as though there might be for a moment.
Fonder's got a half. You can see it right there, trying to put that half Nelson on. Now he gets away from that. Goes back to the crossface. He wants to go back to that cradle. It seems like that's a move he likes. Got the legs on Spolar. Goes back to the half.
Well, Fonder's had him nearly in trouble, but you have to remember that Spolar does still lead the match. They racked up those points early. Now he gets a stalling caution on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, Spolar's got to keep moving, otherwise he might give up a stalling point here, which could really make things interesting. And Fonder could let him go and try for a takedown to tie it up, but still working from the top position. Fonder getting a little bit high here, though. A little high. Spolar decided to head his head for a second.
Time ticking away for Fonder to try and rally here.
10 seconds of the match.
Final 10 seconds of the match, looking for that turn again, and off they go.
Had him turn, but they're off the edge of the mat there. Fonder has gotten really high on Spolar a few times, but it has not cost him. Now 5 seconds left. You try a move, maybe they work on at the end of practice, something quick to try and get a guy on his back. Tries the crossface, goes back to it. He's going to run out of time here, though.
Spolar hangs on for a 7-5 decision as he led big early and has to fight it off at the end. Both teams nearly had pins at various points in the match, but Spolar hangs on to win a gritty 7-5 decision.
That was a fun match to watch, back and forth. 7-0 Spolar at one point, but Sam Fondor of Minnetonka with a 5-point move almost got the pin after almost getting pinned early on.
152 pounds for the skippers, sophomore Maxwell Fuker. And for Wayzata, sophomore Cameron Johnson.
Maxwell Fuker for Minnetonka, Cameron Johnson for Wayzata here in our 152-pound match.
Battle of the sophomores. Johnson and Fuker, they'll go right off the mat here. Just 18 seconds in the first period. Fuker and Johnson. No shots taken yet. They're kind of tied up. They break apart again. Fuker going right at Johnson's head. Going to push his head down, trying to come around him. You pull that head down sometimes, and the guy pops up. That leaves his legs open for a shot. And Johnson kind of tries a shot there. Fuker with the underhook. Not quite sure what to do with Johnson, though, when he put that underhook on there. And they'll go off the edge of the mat again. 57 seconds left in the first.
Fuker's been the aggressor, but not able to finish anything as they've worked a lot from tie-ups.
Yeah, no shots taken yet, really. Johnson kind of half-heartedly took one. Fuker looks like he's going to there for a second. He bounces back up.
30 seconds.
Times of matches like this, you see a lot of activity, but no real serious chance at scoring. And then, as we've learned in previous matches, that can change in a heartbeat. Kind of pushing the head away, pushing the arms away. Fuker kind of going at Johnson's head. There's a shot. Oh, that should be a takedown.
And he'll get a late 2 in the final seconds of the period. So nice move there by Fuker as he finally was the first to really take a shot, go low. Johnson trying to score late.
Oh, he almost got out of there. No points, but very close. But Fuker kind of moving Johnson's head around, kind of trying to gain hand control when they're both in the up position or neutral position. And finally, with about 5 seconds left there, gets a shot, gets a takedown.
Johnson's going to choose down after Fuker defers his choice till the third. So we'll see something a little different anyway to start the period.
Fuker goes right for that arm bar. Hasn't had a chance to really maintain control on Johnson because he got that takedown so late in the first period. So it'll be interesting to see what he tries here. So an arm bar early, trying to break Johnson flat here if he can. Johnson trying to sit out. Johnson working to his base. Fuker with that left arm, left wrist. Trying to keep him down. Fuker up, trying the half. Johnson peels it off. Johnson trying to sit out for a switch, gets to his feet, and there's the escape. 2-1 now, Fuker leads. Fuker goes right at his head. Right at his head again. Trying to set him up for another shot. Fuker fakes a shot. Johnson comes back at him.
Both still trying to figure each other out a little bit.
There's another shot by Fuker. Every time he shoots, good things happen for him. Almost had another takedown there. Fuker almost seems like he's waiting for the perfect shot. Worked in the first period, almost worked there. 2-1 he leads. I think you're right, Jay. He seems to be just a little more aggressive than Johnson.
I think moving a little bit side to side would probably help him too. He's kind of bearing straight in.
There's a shot by Johnson, and he's kind of getting flattened out or head to the outside on a single leg. He's yelling for him to get up, try and get out of there because he's not in a very good position right here. Fuker trying to kind of muscle him over.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. And both wrestlers kind of separate. And that's how the period's going to end. 2-1 Fuker of Minnetonka leading Cameron Johnson of Wayzata.
2-1 for the Skippers.
Fuker will choose down as he holds this 1-point lead heading to the third. Both guys have been going, it's been cautious, but they have been, pretty busy. They seem to be in pretty good condition.
The shots that Fuker has taken have been great. He's gotten in nice and deep. He got a takedown the first period, and the other one he pretty much had one, but they're off the mat. There's a rollout. Oh, he's going to have Johnson in trouble here. Fuker does. Able to roll through. He's going to have back points at the very least. And there's the pin for Fuker.
Well, that one ended in a hurry after a pretty cautious most of the match as Fuker and now has a little bit of blood action coming out.
You don't get any team points for a bloody nose, unfortunately.
Does get the fall though, and a big one.
And this is another one of those matches. There's a nice takedown. When he shot, he was getting takedowns. He rolls through. Again, one of those matches we thought might go down the wire. It was 2-1 right before that reversal, and you can see that's his award for getting a pin is a bloody nose. But a big 6 points for Minnetonka.
Boy, and looking at it too, it's really fortunate for Fuker that he was able to pin him so quick, because obviously we would have had to stop for that amount of blood to come out if they hadn't called the fall right before it.
That pin right there gives Minnetonka the lead back in the team score, 19-18 now. They lead Wayzata.
And that was not a drop or two either. I don't know.
Pretty good bloody nose.
Yeah, I don't know if in the process of getting that takedown, if he got hit or I know it's, obviously when you start getting into heating season and everything, you a lot drier air, and I think that leads to some of them early in the year too.
It certainly does. Our wrestling coach in high school used to tell us to go buy a humidifier and have that on nights, especially before matches and tournaments.
And for the Trojans,
and it would kind of help. But wrestling's a tough sport. Sometimes you just get hit right in the snout, and that's what ends up happening.
Miles Hanks for Minnetonka, Peter Ojeda for Wayzata, and Ojeda has him in trouble.
Ojeda could get a quick pin here. That'd be big for Wayzata. Caught him right away here. Trying to fight that off. Ojeda close to having a pin. You can see the shoulder blades there close. Looked like it for a second. Ojeda very close to getting a pin. Hank's doing what he can to fight that off.
And there's the pin. So, returns the favor one match later. Not only do they get the points back, but they also get some momentum built. They didn't want to see Minnetonka celebrating too much, and Ojeda does the job.
Team score now, Wayzata 24, Minnetonka 19.
Ojeda seemed to be kind of looking for that right away. He gives Wayzata the team lead back again. You see that pin right there, but Hanks got caught, and it was just a matter of trying to fight that off for about a minute and a half. That was going to be a long time, so a big pin there for Wayzata.
170 Logan Foot for Minnetonka, and Dan Herda was at a great start for Wayzata. He's 10-0 this year, and he won the Osseo and Chaska Chan tournaments.
Yeah, good start for him. He's got the senior Logan Foot from Minnetonka. Herda sprawling out there. A couple strongly built wrestlers out here. And jostling for position once again, kind of trying to get control of each other in the upper body. Herda tries to kind of shuck him to the side. He's got a takedown here. It looks like if he could finish, he does. 2-0 Herda. Able to break Foot down right here. He's got that left hand. He's trying to kind of just take his post away and push him that direction. Trying to put Foot right on his back here if he can. Foot hanging on. Flattened out on the mat. Herda kind of just trying to muscle him right over, but Foot comes back. He's got at least a reversal.
Well, there was one time where I think Herda was so intent on doing something at the edge that he kind of put himself in a bad spot there.
Yeah, he got out of position, you're right, Jay, and it just seemed like he kind of got tunnel vision on trying to get Foot muscled over. There's a nice reversal, though. 4-2, he gets a lead back. 5 seconds left here in the first.
It's almost like Herda got a little mad that he had given up that and decided he was going to quick get 2 back, and he does.
That'll give him a 2-point lead as we go into the second. Looks like he will take down Dan Herda to start. His Wayzata Trojans leading the dual meet 24-19 over Minnetonka. Always fun when Wayzata and Minnetonka get together in anything, but wrestling hasn't been necessarily a powerhouse sport for either school, but we got a very even match tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, they've definitely both been solid, but not phenomenal, I think, in recent seasons. Wayzata had a run there where they were quite good and made the state tournament, and they've been in the mix. They've advanced to some section finals lately, but they haven't been, world beaters, I guess, on either side, but definitely solid. Herda will get the reversal.
Yeah. Really well done there. He kind of rolls out. It's reversal, takes a 6-2 lead now.
Looks like he's got a pretty good combination of strength and technique.
Very strongly built kid, and he seems to have a game plan out here. Knows what he wants to do. Able to execute now a couple different times. Nice switch at the end of the first. Another nice switch right there. He's got Logan Foot pinned down on the mat here. Not able to turn him. Kind of trying to muscle him over. Gets his wrist there and wants to push him to that side. He secures that left arm and trying to work Logan Foot that way where he doesn't have a post, but Foot back to his base. Foot tries a switch.
Ooh, he nearly got out. That was a lightning quick move.
Come on, Logan, you gotta move.
Foot able to get back to his base. 30 seconds to go here in the second. And Herda leading 6-2. That Foot flattened out. Trying to get hand control. Foot working to his base here.
Hey, Logan, let's get one here.
See Foot a couple different times here trying for a switch. Herta able to maintain control. That'll give them a 6-2 lead as we go into the third.
Foot is going to choose down here to begin period number 3.
Foot down, going to try and go up and out if he can right away. Foot tried a couple of, he had a really nice switch at the end of the first to give him that 2 points he has, and tried a couple others that almost worked. So he's probably thinking that right now.
Not so sure. Both guys haven't tired just a little bit here. They're working against, both guys are strong, and you're working hard against each other just to try and push that body weight around a little bit.
Looks like we might have blood time here.
Yep, it's Minnetonka's Foot.
Yeah, and as you said, especially when you get into these upper weights now, as we're kind of getting the upper weight classes, you're trying to control a 170-pound wrestler when you're out there. So fatigue plays a role. I guess you could say we're still kind of early in the season. By the third period, you got another strong wrestler you're trying to constantly throw a switch on or get a takedown on or trying to turn over. It's not good to have blood time, but sometimes these breaks are kind of welcome. And Foot will return to the mat here with cotton in his nose. We'll start down again.
Earlier on, it looked like Herta was really working, but now he's kind of been having to hang on. I think, even though it didn't quite pay off for Foot, a couple of those switches that he tried, I think, really got Herta's attention.
Yeah, they really did, and it was reactionary, and I think Herta's a little more cautious now. You can see Foot trying to flip him over. There's a crossface by Herta, able to get Foot back down to the mat. There's a half Nelson by Herta. He had it on for a second. Didn't run it, though. The roll is something that seems like Foot trying to set up a switch if he can. He's up, back down to his base, trying to stand up for a second. Was Logan Foot of Minnetonka.
He's going to have to make something happen soon here. A half minute to go in the third. Does not appear that Herta's going to be able to turn him here, but if he could ride him out, wouldn't be too bad either.
There's that switch. Foot's trying it. Almost had it. Herta able to drive him off. 12 seconds to go. Logan Foot's going to have to try and do some kind of roll here or something.
Coach Swenson warning Herta about that right now. He's saying, watch that roll.
There's another switch by Foot, trying another switch anyway.
7 seconds, Daniel, 7 seconds. Turn it back.
Herta just going to hang on. He's going to get the win here, 6-2. Dan Herta of Wayzata. It's a decision to extend the team lead. 27-19 now. Wayzata leads Minnetonka.
So Herta stays unbeaten. It was not an easy win. Foot's a pretty quality guy as well, and Herta flurry early and then hangs on.
What was that reversal by Foot that you saw earlier? Herta got a switch back here. Beautiful switch. Does like a little bit of a roll, turns it into a switch. That was kind of the story of the match.
195 pounds. It's Duke Larson, the junior.
All right, Caleb.
And for Wayzata.
We go to 182 here.
Eugene, the sophomore.
Duke Larson for Minnetonka, Caleb Eugene for Wayzata. So we get a little more lineup shuffling here later in the match.
Underhook, underhook. Gotta get an underhook. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Eugene trying for a throw. Larson fights him off.
Eugene definitely looks like he wants to go upper body here early on.
Looked like Eugene almost was surprised that they were sending him out. He was not really ready. The coaches were, what are you doing? Get over here.
He wanted to end that match pretty quick. He was trying for a throw early on, but it was not to be. With wrestlers tied up, they've been pretty much tied up first minute and 15 seconds of this match. Oh, a little duck under there by Eugene. He's got it. Takedown. Pretty duck under there by Eugene. Way to finish that. Gives him a 2-0 lead. See what he does here. He doesn't have much time. 15 seconds in the first period. Eugene came out strong, looking like he was going to try a throw right away. Larson able to fight him off, but it ends up being a duck under that gets him that takedown. An early lead here as the first period comes to an end.
Nearly had him to his back late, but we will reach the end of one here, and Eugene deferring his choice, and Larson will choose down to begin period number 2.
Larson up, trying to get out. Eugene with the, almost like a takedown, but he already had control. Now almost has Larson on his back for a second. There's a half Nelson.
Ooh, he's got it in pretty good.
Trying to really turn. He's got to get sideways there, perpendicular. He's got Larson in trouble. Very close to having a pin. He's almost got it. There it is. Another pin for Wayzata.
At 2:23.
Eugene getting the pin, 2:23, and a huge victory there for the Trojans.
There's a half Nelson he was working for. He didn't give up on it when it initially didn't work. And he gets out, he gets perpendicular, chest to chest. He's got that in reverse half now at that point. Got it in really tight. There's the pin for Wayzata.
And for Wayzata, senior Andrew Kovach.
It will be Nick Reeder for Minnetonka here at 195, and Andrew Kovach for Wayzata. Kovach, a senior, has been 4th at a couple of the tournaments they've been at this year, at Osseo and at Chaskatchan. So Wayzata, pretty commanding lead here at 33-19. Each team has a stud left to go. King at 220 for Wayzata, and Moore at heavy for Minnetonka. So it's possible those two could cancel each other out. Oh, got to bring him down safely here.
The Minnetonka desperately needs a win. That's going to be a takedown here for Kovach. Back points as well.
2 near fall, make it 4-zip. And he's going to cut him loose and go back to work.
Reeder tried a quick takedown there as soon as he got cut loose. Kovach with another takedown. He's got a near cradle on here locked up. 6-1. In good position here to try and put Reeder on his back.
I think he feels like he can pin him.
Yeah, trying to get behind that leg and work it up, but Reeder able to break out of that.
Good work, Andrew.
6-1 though, commanding lead here for Andrew Kovach.
Looks as though a Reeder is going to be able to survive the period here.
That was in question there for a little bit. Kovac had a nice near cradle locked up, but just not able to turn Reeder. Gives Reeder credit for fighting it off. 6-1 Kovac leads here in the second. Minnetonka, for dual meet's sake, in desperate need of a win right here with just a couple weight classes left.
Reeder deferred. Kovac immediately said both up. He said, I can take him down again and try and put him right to his back. I think anything less than 6, Kovac would not be satisfied with here. He thinks a pin is in the offing here for him.
I try to take down Reeder, sprawl on him, and then does a little duck under. Gets a takedown anyway. 8-1, he's going to ask for both up here, so he'll give up the escape, make it 8-2. Kovac very comfortable on his feet right now.
Reeder kind of tired, slowly making his way back. Kovac immediately dashing to the center circle and in his stance already. Is kind of, by body language, you know he's the guy winning.
Yep, he's got a takedown, and he had a near cradle, turns it into a half. He's got Reeder in big trouble here. Another pin for Wayzata.
So the pin parade continues for Wayzata here. 3 of the last 4 matches, and they have really pulled away and lead by 20 points on the team scoreboard now.
Kovac had been flirting with the pin a couple times this match. It's a half Nelson right there. He's got him hooked up pretty tight. At the very least, he's coming out there with 3 near fall, but he gets the pin that he wanted.
We go to 220 now. John Obermiller for Minnetonka and Corey King coming out for Wayzata. He's ranked 8th at 220 in the guillotine. He was 2nd last weekend at Chaskachan, 3rd at the Osseo tournament. Also had a real nice football season for the Trojans.
Good athlete, Corey King. Wayzata just taking over this dual meet the last few weight classes, getting some pins, key pins. It's a shot by King, double takedown. Almost like a tackle in football.
2-point takedown for Corey King.
And he's not, he tried to kind of let him go there, but they went off the edge of the mat. He wants to go both up. So it'll be 2-1. Obermiller will get the escape here prior to the whistle. 2-1, that gives him a point.
And King is known for very spectacular takedowns, and they are basically just tackles, but he's so quick and has really learned how to set them up.
Strong kid, a lot of power. Lower body there especially. You can tell he's got some drive in him. And the ref will break it. They go off the edge of the mat. Corey King of Wayzata leading 2-1 for John Obermiller of Minnetonka. There's another
2-point takedown.
Big double leg takedown for Corey King. 4-1 now he leads.
This time going to try and ride him out because we were final seconds of the period. 4-1.
4-1. Corey King of the Trojans.
He defers. It looks like Obermiller is going to take down position here. So King is going to try and ride him here.
I'm going to say it wouldn't have surprised me that much if he just cut him loose. He definitely prefers to go from the feet for that wicked double leg takedown. Oops, the clock was not reset and started to begin the period here. So they definitely...
We'll add some extra seconds to this match, it looks like.
We'll see if there's a stoppage, if maybe they wind it down a little bit. I think the referee did realize it, but he also knew that they were getting it going and wasn't going to stop the match.
King has him on his back here, though. Obermiller in big trouble.
King trying to put him away for the Trojans. Corey King cinches it up, and there it is. King continues the pin parade here for Wayzata.
2:40 the time of that pin. 45-19 Wayzata leading as we go into 285-pound weight class. After a couple of really nice double-A takedowns, there's a double-A takedown too. It's just kind of like we talked about. It's almost like a drive. A tackle in football, basically, and there's the pin. Half Nelson for Corey King of Wayzata.
Aaron Moore for Minnetonka, and for Wayzata it will be Alex Ramler. Moore is ranked in the top 10 in the heavyweight category. He's ranked number 9.
And I think he's got a takedown. He's not going to get back points because now he might. He's got him on the yellow. He's got to get him on the yellow. That could be a pin pretty quick here for Moore. It is.
And Moore gets the last victory for Tonka, but Wayzata rolls 45-25, but probably a little bit wider margin than we might have seen coming either way.
I think we were hoping for a little bit closer duel meet, but we saw some great matches in there. At times, it looked like some of the other matches that we saw might go down the wire, then you'd see a quick pin after a close match for 2 periods, but big win for Wayzata. They kind of know where they stand here a little bit with their conference rival.
Minnetonka had taken a 1-point lead after a pin at 152, but then you went pin, decision, pin for the Trojans, and that was pretty much all she wrote. Well, thanks so much for joining us, John, and we'll see you again down the road here.
Sounds good.
Wayzata 45, Minnetonka 25, our final score here tonight in Lake Conference Wrestling. Thank you for watching this presentation of high school wrestling on 12 Sports. For all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. So long from Wayzata.